Once upon a time, in lands where the desert sand shimmered with the light of 1,000 stars, and the moon hung like a lantern in the velvet sky, there lived a man whose heart was a garden of patience and a wellspring of wisdom. His name was Ali ibn Hussain, known as Zayn al-Abidin, the ornament of the worshippers. His story is one of sorrow and strength, of trials and triumphs, and it shines like a pearl in the ocean of Islamic history. Dear listener, let me take you to the heart of this tale, to a time when justice was eclipsed by tyranny, and the earth trembled under the weight of human suffering. It begins in the holy lands of Karbala, where the tragedy of Imam Hussain, the grandson of the Prophet Muhammad, unfolded like a mournful song. The year was 680 CE, and the plains of Karbala bore witness to a day that would echo through eternity. Imam Hussain, the beloved son of Fatima al-Zahra and Ali ibn Abi Talib, stood defiant against the oppression of Yazid, the tyrant who sought to silence the voice of truth. Alongside him were his companions, men of unshakable faith, and his family, whose courage would be remembered for generations. But on that fateful day, the forces of tyranny prevailed. Imam Hussain and his companions were martyred, and the sands of Karbala drank their blood. Among the few survivors was his son, Ali Zayn al-Abidin, who had been too ill to fight. Bound in chains, he was taken along with the women and children of the Prophet's family as captives to the court of Yazid in Damascus. Ah, dear listener, imagine the scene. The noble family of the Prophet, paraded before the tyrant's court, their dignity cloaked in sorrow, yet their hearts unbroken. It was here that Zayn al-Abidin's light began to shine, like a lamp in the darkest night. When the captives were brought before Yazid, he mocked and jeered, flaunting his ill-gotten power. But Zayn al-Abidin, though weak in body, stood tall in spirit. With eloquence and grace, he addressed the court, his words slicing through the air like the edge of a sword. "O Yazid," he said, "do you think your power diminishes the truth? Know that the blood of my father will awaken the hearts of the people, and your tyranny will be remembered as a stain upon history." The court was silenced, and even Yazid felt the weight of those words. Zayn al-Abidin's courage was a testament to his lineage, for he was the grandson of Ali ibn Abi Talib, the Lion of Allah, and the great-grandson of the Prophet Muhammad himself. After their release, Zayn al-Abidin and the survivors returned to Medina, their home, which now seemed a shadow of what it once was. The people of Medina, upon seeing the survivors, wept and mourned for the tragedy of Karbala. But Zayn al-Abidin did not retreat into despair. Instead, he took upon himself the mantle of preserving the legacy of his father and his grandfather. He became a beacon of faith and patience, teaching the people the values of justice, compassion, and devotion to Allah. Through his prayers, known as Sahifa Sajjadiyah, he poured his soul into supplications that continue to inspire millions to this day. These prayers were not mere words. They were a roadmap for the soul, guiding the believer toward a life of humility and worship. One night, it is said, a beggar knocked on the door of Zayn al-Abidin's home. The beggar had heard of the Imam's generosity, for he was known to secretly deliver food to the poor under the cover of darkness. With a trembling voice, the beggar said, "O son of Hussein, I am a stranger in this land, without family or friends. Will you not help me?" Zayn al-Abidin, who had been praying, rose immediately. He brought the man into his home, gave him food, and sat with him as though he were an honored guest. The beggar, overcome with gratitude, wept and said, "You are not like other men. Who are you, that you treat a stranger with such kindness?" The Imam smiled gently and replied, "I am but a servant of Allah, as are you. We are all strangers in this world, and kindness is the bridge that leads us home. Zayn al-Abidin's life was marked by trials, yet he bore them with a patience that seemed otherworldly. When asked how he endured so much suffering, he would say, "Patience is the key to relief, and trust in Allah is the balm for every wound." His wisdom, his prayers, and his unyielding commitment to justice would leave an indelible mark on history. He taught that true strength lies not in the sword, but in the heart that remains steadfast in the face of adversity. And so, dear listener, the story of Imam Ali Zayn al-Abidin is not just a tale of sorrow, it is a tale of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest nights, the light of faith can guide us. His life is a lantern that continues to illuminate the path for those who seek truth and justice. As you listen to this story, let it stir your heart and awaken your spirit. Remember the lessons of Karbala, the courage of Zayn al-Abidin, and the enduring power of patience and prayer. For in his story, we find not just the history of a man, but the essence of a faith that calls us to rise above our trials and strive for a better world.